It has been 4,186 days since the last EF5 tornado until now, because as of 9:38 a.m. Central Daylight Time on October 6th, the Enderlin tornado is an EF5. Weather teams in Grand Forks have done extra research, and they have conducted some tests, and the train cars, there's a bunch of damage photos of these. The train cars were knocked off their tracks and onto the side of the rail, and on some parts they were dragged out all the way to the middle of the field, and some being tossed. If you look at this, it says 475 feet, and they did additional surveys and worked extensively with wind experts to further investigate the June 20th, 2025 Enderlin, North Dakota tornado. And this is big because it says that the maximum wind speed was greater than 210 miles an hour, and it occurred during the time of a train derailment south of Enderlin. And the analysts involved seismic damage wind speed estimates for tipping several fully loaded grain hopper cars and lofting off tankers, including one empty tanker car, stopped 475 feet. And then the maximum wind speed also correlates to the maximum strength on a WSR 88D storm relative velocity data from KMVX. This is ginormous data because we haven't had any F5 in 12 years. And I like that they're taking the steps forward here, and they are using that wind speed to judge what hit these train cars. Because obviously some huge gusts came and hit those if they're knocked off and an empty cart flew 475 feet. Now this tornado here. This is the Enderlin tornado. That's credit to Alex Riesel. Now this is on the National Weather Service site. I will have it linked down in the description, along with the live coverage of me covering that storm. But yeah, it happened at 11:02 to 11:21, so it was a relatively short tornado. It only covered about 12 miles and had a width of 1 mile. And there was sadly 3 deaths in this tornado, but it did go across very, very rural land, as those train cars were crossed at some train track along this path. And yeah, you see extensive damage here, so I just had needed to come in and get quick coverage on this before going out and doing extensive editing to some other things I'm working on, and damage throughout the entire river valley. It was only stubs of large branches or trunks. And that's the wind, so they couldn't get an estimate on the train cars, but they do get estimates on this. That whatever the initial rating was of that was likely due to the branches near the Maple River east of Enderlin. So what we could take away from this is that they are finally using those wind speeds greater than 210, which is EF5, and since they got 2 sources from it, and I watched the June 1st thing, he did his math, and he was within 2 miles per hour of their research, so it is highly likely that this had greater wind speeds than 200 miles an hour. And it's amazing that they're actually taking a step in trusting their weather radar things instead of going off damage. And they're trusting the storm relative velocity data from certain weather stations.